Mr. Money, will you please escort Mr. Washington off the court? Take him down the block. And if this dreadlock bumberaz even blinks wrong, you lullaby his ass.
It's important to remember the value of taking time for ourselves to do the things that help us grow and explore, like learning something new. And now with the Great Courses Plus, it's never been easier to experience the joys of learning. The Great Courses Plus offers thousands of streaming videos that cover hundreds of fascinating topics, from World War II to choosing the perfect wine. You can even take a course on the U.S. government or dealing with stress and anxiety. And because the Great Courses Plus partners with world-class professors and experts, you're always receiving thoroughly vetted, high-quality content from every lecture. Plus, you can watch or listen anytime, anywhere with the Great Courses Plus app. So take a little time for you. Sign up for the Great Courses Plus today for a free month of unlimited access. Visit thegreatcoursesplus.com/radio to get started. That's thegreatcoursesplus.com/radio.
Twitter's stupid, and Instagram is Twitter for people who can't read.
We live in a world now that welcomes and nurtures the screwball in all of us. Hey, it's a new decade, people. Time to get a little nutty. Treat yourself to Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey, a smooth flavor that combines two of America's favorites, peanut butter and American whiskey. So no more social awkwardness. Time to embrace who you truly are. Get out there and make friends. And be sure it starts with Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. It's available nearly everywhere. Learn more at screwballwhiskey.com. Infinium Spirits. Please enjoy responsibly.
Armchair.
At Shell, we know from the time you get up to the time you wrap up,
Good night.
there's a lot of meetups, eat-ups, and hurry-ups. So come to Shell and get 3 things done at once. Fill up with Shell V-Power Nitro Plus to help keep your engine running like new. Save up with the Fuel Rewards program and never pay full price for gas again. And snack up with in-store rewards to save even more at the pump. Make the most of the stop you need to make with Shell. And engines that continuously use Shell V-Power Nitro Plus premium gas. And see full terms and conditions at fuelrewards.com.
You don't have to answer that question.
I'll answer the question. You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Let me sum it up.
If you're looking for gifts or stuff for yourself from all teams, from all sports, it's MVP Collectibles, the St. Augustine Outlets Mall. Suite 245 across from the food court. MVP Collectibles has all 32 NFL teams, every SEC, every ACC, teams from the Big Ten, and 10 different Major League Baseball teams. That's MVP Collectibles. It's where the armchair quarterbacks can be found just before game day to get our man cave popping, no matter what team you love.
Ooh, wizard versus nerd. Strike you down with my spell. No, science is the answer.
You're in Braves country.
Yeah. To the ball game. Take me out to the ground.
Good morning. Welcome to Take Me Out to the Ball Game as we get you rolling here on the 24th day of August. As we got a lot going on, including that Monday night football game. What a game indeed it was, as the Saints hold on and win, but that's not really the story. I think the story that everybody is going to be looking at and paying attention to this morning is the fact that I believe, and I would be shocked if it's not so, Jameis Winston has won that starting job in New Orleans. He absolutely went off last night. And when you look at the stats comparatively, I'm going to go ahead and pull it up real quick so I have them in front of me. But just watching it, if you just watch it, never saw the stat line, you knew who the starting quarterback was on that team. Taysom Hill went 11 of 20 for 138 yards. Which is like, it's okay. It's not terrible, but definitely not a starting quarterback. You want to be more than just over 50% in a game in preseason. Jameis Winston, 9 of 10 for 123 yards and 2 touchdowns. And so I believe that is your starter. You can say that Minshew might have outperformed Trevor Lawrence a little. 13 of 21 for 149 yards. Trevor Lawrence was 14 of 23 for 113 yards. So comparatively, realistically the same. A few more yards for Minshew. He did have the interception, so you don't like that at all. I just don't. I think, look, if you watch the pregame to this, I think it's all to do about nothing. And the reason why I say that is there's no way Urban Meyer drafted this kid with the number 1 pick overall to bring him back into coaching for all the stuff that he has done and all the stuff that he has gone through to come back to coaching. And look, we all know that it's been very well documented, all of his health issues, whether they're legitimate or not. Everyone wants to argue that, but that doesn't really matter at this point. What matters is Urban Meyer is back in coaching. He did not come back to coach Gardner Minshew. And so when it's all said and done, there's no way Trevor Lawrence is riding the pine. But I will say this, because they have made such a big deal about the offensive coordinator for Jacksonville and how he's going to open up this and open up that. I think the offense looks like crap, just in general. It's a very college offense. Everything is dink and dunk. Everything, all I saw was a million checkdowns to running backs. So if I'm a Jaguar fan going into this season, I'm a little concerned. I'm a little concerned because I don't believe that this offense is going to be nearly as explosive as I think a lot of people dreamed it could be. Now, granted, some of their starters weren't in there. We still have DJ Chark and whatnot. But all in all, I just felt like that this was a game that I was impressed by the Saints. It ends up being 23-21 New Orleans, but that was a late touchdown. Look, Jacksonville scored 18 points in the fourth quarter, and we all know when you're talking about preseason games, what are we talking about when we're saying 18 points in the fourth quarter? Not some miraculous comeback. All the scrubs are in. Once again, Beathard probably looked like the best quarterback, to be honest with you. If it's me, I'm trying to trade Minshew, and I'm keeping Beathard. If I can get anything for Gardner Minshew, I'm getting rid of him and getting that monkey off the back of Trevor Lawrence. CJ Beathard, we know is a journeyman backup, but he could step in and do a fine job. Either that or you're trading CJ Beathard for much more than you could ever trade for Minshew. But I just think it's time to wipe the slate clean with Minshew. But all in all, last night, I felt like you saw some good things out of the Saints. You saw some okay things out of the Jaguars until we got late in the fourth quarter when it just basically turned into a mop-up play. But how about that kid Callaway for the Saints? 5 catches, 104 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He has made himself known. I guarantee he's going to be flying off fantasy boards now. Everyone's always reactive when it comes to these, because this essentially starts fantasy football draft week. I think most drafts are going to happen somewhere between tomorrow and a week from Sunday. There are some drafts that take place a few days before the season starts, but that's pretty much it. If you're in a serious draft that took place like 2 months ago, like I see people, you get the hell out of that league. Because honestly, you got a better chance of prognosticating what's going to happen in the stock market than you are in what National Football League camps are going on. Okay, so we set that off to the side. We won't have any NFL until later in the week. I believe, let me double check that. I believe Friday. I think because I thought it was strange. Yes, Friday is the next football game. I found it very strange we did not have a game on Thursday. You normally have a game on Thursday, but we're not going to have that. Now, other things that you might want to pay attention to this week is the fact that college football will begin this Saturday. Now, it's not an impressive slate. It's not really one anyone's going to give two hells about. But Nebraska and Illinois started all off at 1 p.m. Eastern on Fox, and that'll take place on Saturday. At 3:30, ESPN will have Hawaii at UCLA. The only reason why you're watching these games is for you're playing the over-unders. At 2:00, by the way, UConn and Fresno State, snore, and UTEP in New Mexico State is at 9:30. I don't even see that listed as a television game, so I don't even know what station that could possibly be on. At 10:00 Eastern, CBS Sports Network is back at it again with Southern Utah versus San Jose State. So with all that being said, and all that boring junk, there is college football this Saturday, so we've made it to college football season, essentially. Next Thursday is when you're going to get some decent games. A week from Thursday, you're talking about Ohio State, Minnesota. You're talking about NC State's going to play South Florida. Teams of interest will be on the docket. The University of Tennessee plays that night as well. You're trying to pull up SEC Network. Yeah, Bowling Green, they're playing at 8:00, and so some decent games to kick off the college football weekend. All right, let's get into baseball. That is what's really ruling the roost right now. And games that went on yesterday, Red Sox had a big come from behind win. They were down. They were out in the bottom of the 10th. They had one man on first, 2 outs, and they get a double off the wall to send it to the 11th. The Red Sox would load the bases and would eventually hit a grand slam to walk that off. That was big because the Yankees won again, 10 in a row now. They beat the Atlanta Braves. Huascar Ynoa just did not have a great game. He was solid. He didn't have a terrible game, but the Braves batting was just putrid last night. And I expect Atlanta to hit much better tonight versus Andrew Heaney. And I expect Charlie Morton to pitch very well against the Yankees. Now, with that being said, they do know each other very well. Morton playing for the Rays for years. So it's Rays and the Houston Astros for years. So he's been in the American League. He's seen his share of the Yankees, vice versa. So they will be used to each other. But the Braves are going to have to score some runs if they're going to put any dent in this Yankee 10-game winning streak. Atlanta's 9-game winning streak comes to an end. Cubs beat the Rockies, no one cares. Pirates won, no one cares. But the Blue Jays got a win over the White Sox. That is a big game for the Blue Jays to keep pace with the Yankees. And late last night, game of interest, Mariners knock off the A's. So what does that look like with our standings going into today in Major League Baseball? Rays are 4 up on the Yanks, 6.5 on Boston. And then you've got we'll go ahead and jump to the West. The A's are now 3.5 behind the Astros. Braves 4.5 and 6.5 in front of the Phillies and Mets. And the Giants are still 2.5 up on the Dodgers. When you're looking at games going on today, real quick, it's the games of interest, the ones you really care about. At 7:05, you've got the Phillies and the Rays. Rasmussen versus Suarez. Yankees and Braves, we just talked about that. That's 7:20. Other games of interest tonight. You've got the White Sox and Blue Jays back at it again. Cease versus Berrios. Really good pitching matchups. And then you've got the Giants and Mets begin in Flushing. It's going to be Tyler Miguel versus Sammy Long. So the Mets actually have the upper hand in this pitching matchup. They really need to get the W tonight. Brewers, they're at home against the Reds. Big series there. But I feel like the Reds would almost have to sweep for this to even become consequential. But it's Tyler Miguel versus Corbin Burns. So we'll see what happens there. And then the Dodgers and Padres. Look out. Julio Urias and the Dodgers are heading into San Diego. They have not named their starter yet, but we'll keep an eye on that. All right, so that's what's going on in the world of Major League Baseball. And a couple of quick notes to make off of that game. The Jags, Travis Etienne is out indefinitely with the mid-foot sprain. I don't think it's going to be serious, but you'll see him fall down the fantasy draft boards if you play fantasy football. And he's a wild card. If you play fantasy football, he's a wild card. I would err on the side of caution and probably stay away from him at this point after watching the Jaguars offense, but I can see the intrigue. And also a couple of other notes before we get on out of here. The Falcons add Josh Rosen. Remember, Rosen was kicked off the 49ers. So Josh Rosen will try to make his due in Atlanta. Remember, they just lost AJ McCarron to the ACL tear. And Tony Finau ends his drought and captures the North Trust Championship in the playoff of the world of golf. We got to get out of here. We'll see you at the bottom of the hour for Wake Up, y'all. Should be a good one. It's Miami Hurricanes Day with the Armchair Quarterbacks. We'll be back in just a flash.
Take me out to the ball game.